Imagine the scenario for a second. You just posted something online.
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
Right. It could be anything, really. Maybe it's a piece of art you spent weeks drawing, or a major project you finished for work, or honestly, just like a really nice picture of yourself on a good day.
Yeah, you're feeling confident.
Exactly. You hit publish, and the notifications start rolling in, and you get 99 glowing, overwhelmingly positive comments. People are saying, amazing, and you are so talented.
Great job, all of that.
Right. But then right at the very bottom of the page, there is one single negative comment.
Yep, there it is.
And actually, that is our first key phrase to keep in mind today for our English learners. A negative comment. Just one bad, unhelpful, critical remark just sitting there among all the praise.
Looming over everything else.
Exactly. Now, be honest with yourself. When you turn off the lights and go to bed tonight, which comment is going to keep you awake? The one staring at the ceiling for hours, making your heart race.
I mean, it is invariably that one bad remark. It's almost comical how predictable human nature is here.
It really is.
We completely brush past the 99 people who validated us, and we funnel like 100% of our mental energy into the one person who decided to criticize us.
Yeah, we obsess over trying to figure out what is wrong with us rather than what is right.
Absolutely.
I know I'm guilty of this. It drives me absolutely crazy because I logically know I should ignore it, but my brain just will not let it go.
It's stubborn like that.
It is. And that disconnect between what we logically know and how we actually feel that is exactly what our deep dive is about today. The topic we are unpacking is not everyone has to like you.
Such an important topic.
So our mission today is to figure out the actual psychology behind why we care so deeply about other people's opinions, even total strangers. We're going to explore the simple math of social tastes and ultimately figure out how to find the incredible freedom of being perfectly okay with being disliked.
Which is incredibly liberating.
It really is. And because we know you are using this to improve your English, we're going to do something special. We're going to naturally highlight and unpack some of the most useful English vocabulary words and phrases along the way.
I love that approach. Because having the right words doesn't just help you speak better. It actually helps you process your emotions.
Right.
It helps you confidently navigate these tricky social situations. When you can name what you were feeling in the moment, you take a massive step toward protecting your peace of mind.
Okay, let's unpack this from the very beginning. Let's start with the big glaring question. Why does our brain betray us like this?
It feels like a betrayal, doesn't it?
It does. Why do we obsess over that single negative comment to the point where it destroys a perfectly good day, even when we are totally surrounded by praise?
So to understand this, we have to look backward. What's fascinating here is that this intense reaction is not some modern psychological weakness.
Okay.
And you really shouldn't feel bad or guilty for feeling this way. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as approval addiction.
Approval addiction.
Right. And it's not a character flaw. It is an ancient survival mechanism built right into our neurological hardware.
Wait, I need to push back on that a bit. A survival mechanism.
Yes.
Because when I get a mean comment on a photo, my life isn't actually in danger. Are you saying my brain literally interprets a lack of likes on social media as a matter of life or death?
Yes. And to build on that, your brain relies on evolutionary programming that hasn't really updated in thousands of years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Think about human beings in ancient times. We were physically weak compared to the predators around us. We survived by living in small, tight-knit tribes.
Right, safety in numbers.
Exactly. You needed the tribe to share food, to keep the fire going, and to watch your back while you slept.
Yeah.
If the tribe decided they did not like you and they rejected you, you were cast out into the wild alone.
And a human alone in the wild simply didn't survive. Starvation or predators would get you.
Bingo.
Ah, I see the connection now. So to physically stay alive in the ancient world, you absolutely had to have the group's approval. And that is a crucial concept and a great vocabulary word to highlight here. Approval. When we seek approval, we are seeking a yes. We are looking for validation from others that says, you are good, we accept you, and you belong here.
Precisely. And the most effective strategy to guarantee you got that approval was to fit in.
Ooh, fit in. That's another essential phrase to grasp.
It is. To fit in means you adapt yourself to be accepted as a natural, seamless part of the group. You act like them, you agree with them, and you don't rock the boat.
Right, you blend in so they don't kick you out.
Exactly. The desire to fit in is so deep-seated in our biology that neuroscientists have found something incredible. The human brain actually processes social rejection using the exact same neural pathways that it uses to process physical pain.
Wait, really? So like a broken heart or a bruised ego physically registers in the brain like a broken arm?
It does. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex lights up in both scenarios.
That is wild.
Historically, if you didn't fit in and you didn't get approval, it meant physical death.
Yeah.
So your body created a pain response to warn you. It's saying, hey, you're being rejected. Fix this immediately or we are going to die.
That is mind-blowing. So bringing it back to today, our modern brain is basically treating a random negative comment on social media like a literal tiger hiding in the bushes.
That's the exact mechanism at play.
Our biological alarm bells are ringing over nothing, flooding our bodies with stress hormones over a situation that isn't actually dangerous at all.
Yes, your ancient amygdala, that's the fear center of your brain, it cannot tell the difference between a minor social rejection from an anonymous internet user
Rip.
and a life-threatening exile from your ancestral tribe.
Wow.
The alarm bells ring just as loudly, and that sudden flood of stress hormones makes us feel incredibly upset.
I want to pause on that word, upset. Because when you are feeling this way, you don't just want to say, I feel bad.
Right, bad is too vague.
Exactly. You say, I am upset. When you are upset, you are in a very specific emotional state. You're emotionally knocked off balance. You feel agitated, worried, and maybe a little angry because you're facing rejection. It is the perfect word to describe that tight feeling in your chest.
And understanding that biology leads to a very practical, immediate takeaway for you.
Okay, what is it?
When you read a negative comment or someone criticizes you at work, your heart starts racing, right?
Definitely.
Your instinct might be to repress the anxiety, to push it down and pretend it doesn't bother you. But doing that just keeps the alarm bells ringing.
So what should we do instead?
The first step to genuinely feeling better is to verbally describe the feeling out loud.
I have tried telling myself to just let it go in my head, but in the heat of the moment, I usually just freeze up. What is a practical script someone can use when they are caught off guard and feeling that panic?
You have to name it to tame it. Say it out loud in English. Just say, I'm upset because I want their approval.
I am upset because I want their approval.
Exactly. It sounds almost too simple, but explaining the mechanism shows why it works. By naming the emotion upset and the evolutionary reason behind it, approval, you activate the prefrontal cortex.
Which is the logical part of your brain.
Right. This act of verbalizing literally sends an inhibitory signal to your amygdala, lowering your cortisol levels. You are consciously reminding your brain, hey, I am just upset about a comment. I am not being chased by a tiger. We are safe.
I am upset because I want approval. That is a highly functional sentence to practice. Okay, so now we know why we so desperately want everyone to like us.
Hardwired biology.
Right, hardwired biology keeping us safe from imaginary tigers. But knowing that is only half the battle. We have to look at why achieving that goal, trying to get every single person to actually like you, is just logically impossible.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is the perfect transition to the math of social tastes.
The math of social tastes. I like that.
The sources we analyzed for this deep dive included a very famous, incredibly comforting metaphor that illustrates this math perfectly. It's the peach analogy.
Yes, I absolutely love this one. Okay, so imagine you are a peach. But you're not just any peach. You are the ripest, sweetest, most beautiful, most perfectly delicious peach in the entire world.
The absolute pinnacle of what a peach can be.
Exactly. You have a flawless, fuzzy skin, you smell amazing, and you are bursting with flavor.
Sounds pretty perfect.
It is, but here is the hard truth of the world. No matter how perfect you are as a peach, there is always, always going to be someone out there who just does not like peaches.
Yeah.
They might be allergic, they might hate the texture, or they just prefer a crunchy apple.
And this is where we have to pause and really look at the underlying logic, because we usually get this wrong.
How so?
When someone looks at that objectively perfect peach and says, yuck, I hate it, is that a problem with the peach? Did the peach do something wrong? Did the peach fail?
Of course not. The peach is just sitting there being sweet and perfect. It is doing exactly what it was made to do.
Right. The rejection is not a reflection of a flaw in the peach. It is entirely a reflection of that specific person's taste.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
And this perfectly illustrates how being disliked in real life actually works. When someone dislikes you, your art, or your work, it is rarely a reflection of your actual quality or worth. It is simply a reflection of their preference.
Your preference. If you're wondering what preference really means here, let's break it down. A preference is simply what you like better than something else. It's a leaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I have a strong preference for apples over peaches. That doesn't mean peaches are bad, evil, or fundamentally flawed. It just means my personal taste naturally goes in a different direction.
Let's do a quick thought exercise to reverse engineer this social logic. I want you to really think about this for a second. Do you like every single person you have ever met in the world?
Oh, definitely not. There are people who are perfectly nice, but our personalities just clash.
Exactly. Do you love every single wildly popular singer on the radio? Do you enjoy every single type of award-winning food?
No way. There are some incredibly famous musicians with millions of fans, and when their song comes on, I immediately skip it. It just sounds like noise to me.
Right. And since you do not like everyone and everything, why on earth do you expect everyone to like you?
Because it's mathematically and logically illogical. It is completely impossible. It is. And when we say impossible, we don't just mean very difficult. We mean it cannot be done. It cannot happen. The laws of the universe do not allow for a situation where 100% of humans agree on something, so do not even waste your energy trying.
Because human tastes are entirely subjective.
Yes, that is a fantastic vocabulary word that explains this whole concept. Subjective. Subjective means that an opinion is based on personal feelings, personal history, memories, and individual backgrounds.
It is not based on cold, hard facts.
Exactly. For example, saying water boils at 100 degrees Celsius is an objective fact. But saying peaches are the best fruit or this painting is beautiful is subjective. It depends entirely on who is looking at it.
And because opinions about you are deeply subjective, you can finally give yourself permission to stop trying to control them. Which brings us to a really wonderful, very natural English idiom that beautifully captures this acceptance.
Yes. If you are learning English, you absolutely must add this phrase to your daily vocabulary. Not my cup of tea.
Such a classic.
It is so native sounding and incredibly useful in so many situations. When you say something is not my cup of tea, it simply means you don't really like it or you are not interested in it.
But it's polite.
Right. The magic of this phrase is that it's a very polite, non-defensive way to express a subjective preference.
It acts as a polite deflector.
Exactly. Instead of aggressively saying, I hate horror movies, they are terrible and stupid, which sounds like an objective fact and might offend the person who invited you, you can just smile and say, horror movies are not really my cup of tea.
It softens the blow.
It sends a subtle message. Those movies are fine for other people, but they just aren't my preference. It protects their feelings and it expresses your boundaries.
It is highly effective socially because it completely removes judgment. It doesn't assign blame.
Oh, wait, I have to jump in here and ask a serious question.
Sure, go ahead.
We use that phrase all the time for objects. We so easily accept that a certain movie or a certain food is not our cup of tea. We don't get angry at the horror movie, so why is it so incredibly hard to accept that we might just not be someone else's cup of tea?
That's the big question.
Why do we take it so intensely personally when someone doesn't like us? If I'm just a peach, why does my peach heart hurt so much when someone walks past me for an apple?
That is the core conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the honest answer comes down to our ego.
The ego.
Right. It is easy to say a movie isn't someone's cup of tea because we aren't the movie. Our identity isn't tied to the movie. But when the subject being judged is us, that ancient brain circuitry, that approval addiction we talked about earlier, flares up instantly.
It demands to be loved.
Our ego demands to be universally loved to feel safe. Letting go of the ego and accepting that you are just a peach to someone who happens to prefer apples is arguably the hardest psychological work you will ever do.
Because it requires admitting we cannot control how the world sees us.
Precisely. But understanding how hard it is leads us directly to the final and most rewarding phase of our deep dive today. How to actually practice the courage of being disliked and find the true freedom that lives on the other side of that fear.
Yes, let's talk about how to actually live in that freedom. The sources we reviewed had this absolutely golden quote from Psychology. I actually wrote it down in huge letters on a sticky note.
Oh, let's hear it.
Here it is. Your value doesn't change based on someone's inability to see your worth.
That is profound. Think about the mechanics of that statement.
Yeah.
Your value doesn't change based on someone's inability to see your worth.
Let's make sure the vocabulary here is crystal clear. Let's unpack the words value and worth.
They're often used interchangeably, right?
Yes, very often. Your value or your worth refers to your intrinsic importance, your fundamental goodness, and your right to exist as a human being. What this quote is powerfully stating is that your internal worth is fixed. It is a constant.
It is not a stock market.
Exactly.
Your value does not spike upward when someone leaves a positive comment, and it does not crash into a recession when someone leaves a negative comment or disagrees with your life choices.
Here is where it gets really interesting if you think about it like an analogy. Imagine you are holding a pure Syed gold coin in your hand.
Okay, a gold coin.
You know it is a gold coin. You know its weight. You know its worth. But someone walks by, glances at it, and because they happen to have terrible eyesight, or maybe they just don't know anything about precious metals, they laugh and say, oh, that's just a cheap piece of yellow plastic.
Now, does the coin suddenly undergo a chemical transformation and turn into plastic just because they confidently said so?
No, it's physically impossible. It is still a gold coin. Their inability to see it clearly does not change its physical makeup. Their bad eyesight is their problem, not the coin's problem. Their flawed perception does not alter the coin's true value one bit.
When you truly, deeply internalize this concept, that other people's bad eyesight does not change your gold coin, it leads to a profound sense of freedom.
Freedom.
And freedom isn't just about doing whatever you want. In this context, freedom is the release from the exhausting performance of trying to manage everyone else's perception of you. And when you have that freedom, you can finally be authentic.
Authentic is such a beautiful English word to strive for in life. Being authentic means being genuine. It means being the real, true version of yourself, rather than a fake, watered-down version that you created just to please everyone else.
Beautifully said.
When you stop worrying about the people who don't like peaches, you can just focus your energy on being the most authentic, juicy peach possible for the people who actually love peaches.
But of course, as we established, the ego fights this. So this takes daily practice. We want to provide you with some practical, simple English sentences to use in real life when you feel your ego getting defensive.
Oh, this is great.
These are phrases you can use to gently cut off negative energy and practice letting go. Or, as the concept is beautifully known in some cultures, Tuan Shilai, the mindful art of letting go of what no longer serves you.
Yes. Having a script in your back pocket is so helpful when the adrenaline hits. What are the best phrases to use?
If someone is arguing with you or clearly disapproving of your subjective choices, maybe how you dress, or a career move you do not have to fight back, defending the gold coin implies it needs defending.
Oh, that's a great point. So what do you say?
You can just smile calmly, take a breath, and say, it's okay if we don't agree.
It's okay if we don't agree. That is remarkably powerful. It just ends the conflict immediately.
It does.
It takes the wind right out of their sails. It communicates. You have your subjective preference, I have mine, and neither of us has to be proven wrong. It is a peaceful surrender of the need to be right.
It absolutely is. And the second phrase you can use, perhaps you just say it quietly to yourself when you read a bad comment and feel that physiological sting of rejection is, I'm not for everyone, and that's fine.
I really want to highlight that specific ending. That's fine.
It's crucial.
It sounds incredibly simple, almost too simple, but that's fine is a powerful tool for radical acceptance. It actively deflects the panic. Someone doesn't like my outfit today. That's fine.
Someone didn't like the presentation I gave. That's fine.
By saying that's fine, you are signaling to your nervous system that this is not a tiger in the bushes.
Exactly. You are manually overriding the ancient alarm system. To help cement this neural pathway, I want to gently guide you through a very quick physiological exercise right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Wherever you are, if you are not driving and it is safe to do so, I want you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out.
I'm doing it too.
Good. Taking that deep breath actively stimulates your vagus nerve, which tells your heart rate to slow down.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to mentally recite this affirmation in English. Feel the words. Say to yourself, I am not for everyone, and that's fine.
I am not for everyone, and that's fine.
Feel the physical relief in that sentence. Notice how your shoulders drop a little. Now, consciously shift your mental focus. Take your energy away from the critics. Take it away from that one negative comment at the bottom of the page.
Let it go.
And visualize the people in your life who truly love and support you. Picture the people who love peaches. The people who see your gold coin for exactly what it is. That is where your energy and your authentic self belong.
That feels incredible. It really does feel like a heavy physical weight lifting off your chest.
It really works.
So what does this all mean? Let's bring everything we talked about together for you today. We have traveled from ancient human history, sitting around tribal fires, all the way to the modern internet and social media notifications.
It's been quite a journey.
We learned that craving approval and wanting to fit in is just ancient biology. It's a survival alarm bell making us upset over things that aren't actually dangerous.
And we learned the mathematical reality of social tastes. You can be the perfect peach, but you will never be everyone's preference, because human opinions are highly subjective. They are based on their history, not your quality.
You literally cannot be everyone's cup of tea. And it's an impossible, exhausting task to even try. And finally, we learned the English phrases needed to protect our intrinsic value and embrace the freedom of being our authentic selves.
We learned to confidently, calmly say, "It's okay if we don't agree, and that's fine," which effectively shuts down the ego's panic.
It is a lifelong practice, rewiring thousands of years of biology, but it's a practice worth starting today.
Definitely. And before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder as you go about your week. We've talked a lot about not changing yourself to please your critics. But consider the long-term risk.
What's the risk?
If you spend all your time, energy, and stress constantly trying to alter your recipe just to make sure you are everyone's cup of tea, do you eventually risk losing your own unique flavor entirely?
Oh, wow. That is a brilliant cautionary point. If you try to be a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and a glass of orange juice all at the exact same time just to please the whole room, you don't become a masterpiece.
Right, you just make a mess.
You just end up as a muddy mess that nobody wants to drink, and you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope you take these new English words and, more importantly, this new deeply freeing mindset into your week.
Take care of yourselves.
Remember, you are a gold coin. You are not for everyone, and that's fine. See you next time.